The week of the semifinals has finally arrived for ISL 2020, but first we conclude the regular season. Toronto Titans, Iron, Tokyo Frog Kings, and the defending champion Energy Standard battling on day one of match number 9. At the moment during the regular season for ISL 2020, only one team is unbeaten. It's the Cali Condors. They'll go later today. But for now, it's the final opportunity for these teams to kind of fine-tune things as we head our way to the semifinals this weekend. We are so glad you decided to join us. 3-time Olympic champion Roddy Gaines, Iron Bernie Gunther. But this is where you want to make sure that you get the strategy right, you get your team right, that they're ready to race in the semis on Friday.
Yeah, no question about it, Bernie. This becomes a huge chess match, especially for Tokyo, Toronto, and Iron. Energy is set, so it's not quite checkmate yet, but they're definitely checking the boxes here to be able to find the best matchups along the way, to borrow that chess term.
Yeah, probably one of the best pieces you would have on your chessboard would have to be Chad Leclos. He might be a queen, obviously the wrong saying for him, but he can do so much.
Oh, he really can. He can do it all for Energy and has done it. Started off slow, but boy, he has finished with a bang here in the regular season. World record holder in the 100 butterfly. We'll see him right off the bat.
Well, we could see a world record today from Team Irons. Amari Sachi, he was only 4 100ths away the last time he competed.
4 100ths, come on, it's so close. He's got 2 more opportunities most likely today and in the semifinals.
And later today, we're going to see Tokyo and the Frog Kings. They have been so good in the IM. Will we see Ohashi get another win?
She is so beautiful to watch. One of the prettiest strokes you will ever see, and has been completely dominant in that 400 IM. She'll swim the 200 today.
All right, we're going to get things kicked off here with a women's 100-meter butterfly, our first event on the pool deck. And the good news for Sarah Sjoistrom in Energy Standard is she is back there. She is in her signature event. This is what she won the Olympic championship in, the first ever Swedish Olympic champion. Back from that back injury. Interesting, Rowdy, because we've heard a story that she hates flying, but she loves the butterfly. Good news for her.
Oxymoron there, right?
Yeah, the good news in Budapest is obviously she hasn't done any travel during our 6-week stay here in the Budapest bubble, but how big is it for Team Iron to get her here in the 100 butterfly, just maybe to get a crack at the race before the semifinal?
Yeah, Kromowidjojo for Iron is right next to her. They'll be right next to each other in the 50 freestyle. I don't think Renomi will be a factor here, but how'd you like to be Energy Standard in the 100-meter butterfly for women? Skrdai and Banik are 1-2, yet they're not even in the race. But Ohashi and Hansen are, and they could be a factor here if for some reason Sjoistrom just doesn't quite have it.
Well, Sjoistrom has won this event twice. Hansen, who's at the top in lane number 8, she's won this event once, and expect Maddie Banik, who really soared onto the field, to do well. Look at Banik stay down. She's down in lane number 3, and it appears that Banik has a chance to be the leader the first 50 in.
Banik 25.9. She comes in with a 55.6. Again, Skrdai and Banik are 1-2 in the standings. They swim on the same team as Sjoistrom, who is seeded 4th.
Banik, Sjoistrom, Hansen all turning. 25 meters to go. Banik staying down a little further, but here comes Sjoistrom trying to charge. Energy Standard's going to go 1-2 as Sjoistrom takes it over the final 10 meters to get the win.
Boy, she charged the last 25. I thought Banik certainly looked so good going out, and even at the 75. But Sjoistrom, check this out. She was 25.9 going out with Banik, but came home in 29.3. So just kind of finding her way a little bit in that butterfly. Louise Hansen had a really nice swim herself. She was 56.1, so she's right at her best over the season. And Banik was spectacular as usual. And then Sjoistrom came home like a bullet and really charged into that wall and now takes over the top time in the ISL season.
All right, jackpot the first of the day. Sjöström scoring 12 points and 19 points total for Energy Standard. As Sjöström is back and onto the win column, her third win in the 100 fly during her young ISO career. And again, a good side for her. And she's down on the pool deck with 5-time Olympian Mark Foster. Mark? All right, so Sjöström getting the first win, and it's hard to imagine that Energy Standard won't take this race because Chad Leclos comes out as the overwhelming favorite. He's the top-rated ISL swimmer in the 100 butterfly. 5 wins in his career. And right of the story for me about Chad Leclos is how much better he's gotten every match. 28.5 points match 1, 39.5 points match 2, 49.5 points match 3. Obviously, he's finding his groove.
Yeah, definitely finding that form where he is coming to play like the old Chad Leclos and like the Chad Leclos we know and enjoy watching swim. Not that we didn't watch him not at his best, but boy, it's fun to watch him when he starts to get going. If there's another swimmer that may challenge him, it's probably down there in lane number 1. Kawamoto from Japan has a lot of speed, comes in rated number 8. But Chad Leclos, he's just starting to find his form. You can just see his underwaters are starting to prove a little bit more rapid on the kick, really engaging the hips a lot more.
And a good start for 40-year-old Nicholas Santos, 23-2.
Yeah, Santos will definitely be a factor in the 50. He will not be able to finish in 100, but boy, he'll be really good in that 50 butterfly tomorrow.
And Leclos, check out the underwater. He's taking the lead, and Energy Standard is going to win the first 2 events of match number 9, the 6th 100 butterfly win for Chad Leclos. And in jackpot form, Leclos is going to haul in a bunch of points, just like Sjöström. Sjöström hauled in 12. Leclos says, I'm going to pull in 15.
You know, that was, again, just a classic great swim for Chad Leclos, but even more impressive maybe, Bernie, is second place. Nick Santos, he's 40, right? 40 years old. He just won his lifetime best in the 100-meter butterfly. He went 49.8. He had never broken 50 before. Dark cap right there to the right of Leclos, who's way out in front. But what a swim. The 40-year-old goes 49 plus in best time. But there's the champ, world record holder, Chad Leclos.
And 38 early points scored with 2 butterfly wins. Back down to the pool deck, and Mark Foster is with Leclos. Kylie Moss, Lisa Bratton backstage, getting set, getting ready to come out of the pool deck for one of our more intriguing events here on day number 1. You have Moss, Bratton, and Seabaum, all with 2 wins in their career. One has a chance to get their 3rd win. And 4 swimmers rated in the ISL top 10 in this event, Rowdy. But for Kylie Moss, she hasn't won this 200 backstroke since she won it a year ago when she was with the Cali Condors.
And that's what is so incredible about this backstroke event, both the 100 and the 200, is the fact there are a lot of really great swimmers around the world swimming this event. I mean, 3 of the 8 fastest swimmers in history are in this race alone. So it's nothing comes easy in the ISL season.
Kylie Moss, one of 10 Canadians who have joined this Toronto Titans team. They found their way into the semifinals. And again, the key is we have seen this 200 backstroke become a jackpot event on both sides. So whichever swimmer gets the hand on the wall first, whether it be Seebohm, Braden, or Moss, all those extra points will go to that team.
Well, Moss and Bratton from above will be on the top of your screen or to the right of the screen right now with that red cap, 3 from the left. That is Seebohm. So they're not going to have a really good eye on each other unless there's some distance spread. Maybe Seebohm might take a peek. It's going to be very tough for Kylie Moss to see Seebohm.
Shirai and Sakai look good the first 50 for Tokyo. They're swimming first and third down at the bottom in 1 and 2.
Well, Sakai and Shirai are solid Tokyo swimmers. And actually, Shirai comes in rated 9th this season and has swum very well. She finished with the third place finish in match number 3. And Sakai finished second in the last match. So both Japanese swimmers are going to be very tough. Right in front of you, right there to the far left, white caps.
Now Bratton has regained the lead, but only by 1/10 of a second here on the third 50.
Bernie, nobody's really charged out. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 swimmers all at 00 going out the first 100 with Bratton leading the way, which could spell bad news for everybody else because she's such a great back half swimmer.
Yeah, it looks like Moss and Seebohm, they are working their way back into the mix of the third 50, but Bratton still on top by 3/10.
30.9 there for Bratton. Moss starting to move up a little bit at 30.8. Seebohm fell down to 31.2, so she's going to have to do what she did last match and take charge like she did on the last 25, and there she goes.
Yeah, it looks like Seebohm is coming charging home. Bratton is going to try to hold her off. Bratton in the gold cap at the top. Can Seebohm get her again? No, this time the points are going to Energy Standard as Bratton gets the win, her third win of the season.
All right, tables turned a little bit there. Seebohm got her the first time by 5/100ths of a second. How about this one? Bratton gets Seebohm by 2/100ths of a second. How close are these two women in these races? And not far behind at just a couple of tenths back, far right, that's Moss, but it's Bratton, her teammate, Seebohm coming in, and 2/100ths of a second separates them this time. Flip them all around, though, with Bratton getting the win.
Big swim there for Lisa Bratton. 18 points hauled in by Toronto, but Energy Standard still leading with 45 points. Tokyo second, but the Toronto Titans are only 4 points back after that backstroke leg. Back down to Mark and Lisa Bratton. All right, 200 backstroke. Toronto got their first win. Can Tokyo or Iron get their first win of the match here in the 200 backstroke? You think the favorite is in lane number 3, and Evgeny Rylov, who comes in as the third-rated ISL swimmer, but still pretty good group for Tokyo that's going to be right by him.
Yeah, Irie and Thormeyer also very solid along the way, but I just think Rylov's starting to find his form. He was third in that first match behind Murphy and Kvecki, but he has won his last 2 matches. Of course, there was no Ryan Murphy in there, but still, he's really starting to drop his times. He went 149.4 the very first match, and the last 2, 48.3 and 48.6. So he's definitely found his range now, Bernie.
Rylov has a chance to win this event for the 6th time in his ISL career.
There's Irie right there, who will be a huge factor. He'll be at the very bottom of your screen. You see Reloff with a red cap.
Yeah, on paper, Roddy, about a second the difference between Reloff and Arie, but again, you never quite know when they race head-to-head how much a difference that might be. Arie has been second all 3 times he's swum this event so far this year.
And this is really where the tactics part of swimming come through, and you decide, how am I going to swim this race? Am I going to really go out for it and try to test myself early on and see what I've got left? Or do I really work on my back half? Reloff has certainly worked on his back half the last couple of races. His back 100, especially his last 50, has just been fascinating to watch. Right now, it looks like Irie down below, or to the left rather, kind of starting to find himself, but here comes Reloff now in lane number 3.
Well, and even right behind Reloff is Clement Kolesnikov, who finally broke out with his relay split just a couple days ago, swimming that 400 medley relay, and he's continued to start to shine.
Reloff right there on that second 50, 27.1, about a half second better than his teammate Kolesnikov. Irie is 27.5 as well, so there are those 3, the usual suspects, all right there in there together, but Reloff certainly looks like he has an advantage there. He was 27.6. Nobody else broke 28 on that one.
Yeah, and Reloff looks like he is just cruising at the moment for Energy Standard, trying to work his way back in. And look at Kolesnikov. He may overtake Arie for a second. Reloff has won this race for the 6th time in his career, and it's a 1-2 finish for Energy Standard in jackpot form.
Reloff, Kolesnikov, boy, what a 1-2 punch for them. When we start getting into the semifinals and certainly most likely the finals for these two, this is going to be a tough duo to deal with. 148.6, 149.2. Here's Reloff coming home in 27.9. How about Kolesnikov? His last 50, 27.6. Fastest among anybody. Irie is such a tough competitor. He'll throw a 149 at you every single time. He's back in 28.1, but Energy pouring it on.
Well, Energy Standard jumping out to a good start here in match number 9. On top of the table is 62 points. Looking to get Toronto their 2nd win of the match. A year ago, Wong was with the Cali Condors, now coming home to swim with a team from her home country up in Canada. She's won 3. Down in lane number 1, Shimizu has a win. And overall, still about a second or so separating those 2 competitors here. Breastroke Larson onto the pool deck. She hopes that she maybe has started to find her form here in ISL 2020. But it's hard not to think Wong's going to get her 4th regular season win and the 200 breaststroke right here.
Well, she's had 2 back-to-back great 200 breaststrokes. Both of them at the exact same time. If Wog is going to have a challenge, though, it could come from Shimizu. She's going to have to make a big drop, though. She's been 2:18.8. That is almost 2 seconds behind Wog. Is she capable of doing it? Absolutely. Will it happen here? Not so sure.
And that's where, Roddy, the strategy comes in. That obviously it goes without saying. We talk a lot about the winners of the race. You get 9 points for first, but only a point for 8th. And so you try to find that balance of if you can get second or third. You know, the old coaching mentality, move up 1 spot. If you were third before, let's get second, get an extra point. If you're 4th or 5th, move up one spot to, 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, and when you talk about Wog, this is exactly what she's done. She's been able to kind of keep moving up in the standings and just had a swim of a lifetime to go 2:17.1 to break her best time. When she went 2:17.13 twice, first time she's out in 106.3, second time she was out a little quicker, Bernie, at 105.8.
Well, it's a long race, but Breastroke Larson looks a whole lot better in the middle in lane number 4.
Well, Bria Larson comes in with a time of 2:17.9, an Olympic gold medalist from back in 2012. So she's certainly capable of doing. Did not have a great last match, but boy, this looks a lot better. She looks a lot better than she's looked all season long. 125 meters in the race. Now, we still have 75 meters left to go, but this was really on paper one of the lone weak events for Energy. They don't have many weak events. And if they can find a Bria Larson and have her be plugged in here in the 200, boy, that would be a big benefit for Energy when they start going against these really tough teams.
Well, Larson currently 5th. The Frog Kings 2nd and 3rd, but it's Wog in search of going 4 for 4 in ISL 2020 here in this 200 breaststroke.
Wog was 106.6, so she's kind of on her first 2:17.1. In fact, she took it out a little slower, and now you know she'll come back fast.
Shimizu looks pretty good down in lane number 1, trying to battle it out, but Kelsey Wog is going to get the win. Second win of the match for Toronto. And it's going to be a jackpot win for Wog as well, hauling in the points. Look at how happy Tokyo is to have Shimizu lead the way for them to get 2nd and 3rd.
Well, I think she was just as excited for her teammate, Runa Imai, who went 2:20.1, so she had a great swim. Her best time was back 6 years ago, and that was 2:19.2, so she's right on her best time, about a half second off. But again, this was all Kelsey Wog, 106.6 going out, then she was 35.5, and then 36.3 coming home. Shimizu, great last 52, 36.4, but the key really was that third 50 for Kelsey Wog at 35.5. Shimizu certainly made it interesting, though, at the end.
They can count on 30 or more points every time Wog gets into a match for Toronto. She's already tacked on 12, back down to Mark. Big win for Kelsey Wog. There's a start list for the 200 breaststroke. Pretty intriguing. We have 3 swimmers that are rated in the top 4 for ISL 2020, including Shimanovic, who's got a win, McKee, who has 2 wins. Could be another big event for Toronto. Again, if you have positive events that benefit your team, you want to try to rack in as many points as possible. And of course, there's Shimanovic on the left side, trying to make sure that he can keep Energy Standard comfortably in the lead as he tries to go for the win here in the 200 breaststroke.
If McKee, though, Bernie, if he swims anywhere close to the match 3, I think he wins this going away. He was so good that third match. He was 2:01.7, second fastest time of the season behind Kalk, who almost broke the world record. We'll see a little bit later on. But 59.4 he went out. So he attacked it early, but boy, he came home so well. So let's check that first 100 and see if he goes into attack mode early on here.
First 50, Sato down in lane number 2 for Tokyo. You see him on the left side of the screen.
You know, if McKee comes back down to what he won in match 7, 2:03, then this is going to be an extremely close race. Because right now, you at least on the board, on the clock, you've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 of the 6 swimmers are in this race that are ranked in the top 10 this season right there. And you're looking at all 5 of them right now. 2 to the right, 3 to the left, and we've got a race.
Shimanovic starting to build. McKee starting to build. Person out of lane number 8, building as well. And with 75 meters to go, we got about 4 swimmers right there in range to try to take this 200 breaststroke win.
Well, 0.6 of a second separated those 5 swimmers at the 100 mark. And it's still pretty close now with 50 meters left to go. Watch here. And now all of a sudden, McKee starts to take charge. He was 31.8 there. Nobody else broke 32, so it certainly looks like he's starting to find his form now.
And Toronto, they've got a chance to go 1-2. Eric Person, Anton McKee on the right side of the screen. Shimanovic trying to split the difference and find his way into the top 2. But McKee, he is going to do it. He leads the way as the Titans, they get at least 16 points. McKee has won the 200 breaststroke for the 3rd time.
Boy, again, that is just so huge in the grand scheme of things. One race, not that big a deal. Time-wise, no big deal. 2:03.4, fairly slow. But when you think about what they're able to do, when you're talking about this 1-2 punch for McKee, down the line, think down the line here. When they start to get into a little rest mode, a little taper mode, now all of a sudden McKee in person could be a huge factor in maybe surprising some people. We saw Moss, we saw Bratton, we can see Wog. I mean, all of a sudden, Toronto, who knows? Could they be a factor for a top 4 finish? You never want to say never, not in this sport.
What a performance for Anton McKee. And you look up, and McKee getting the 3rd win for Toronto, back down to Mark. Pretty good birthday present, I'd say.
Right.
All right, first opportunity for double points. 400 freestyle relay. It's always an interesting relay because you have this 400 freestyle relay, which of course you're going to put your sprinters on. But on the women's side, the 50 freestyle follows it. So again, it's that strategy of going all out in a 100 free, getting just a handful of minutes rest, and then going after it in the 50 free. Let's look at the athletes competing. Hard to go against that relay team, though, of Bloom, Hahi, Hemskert, and Choistrom.
What? How dynamic is this relay? Bernie, you've got 3 Olympic gold medalists on this relay. Pernille Bloom, Femke Hemskirk, Sarah Sjoistrom, all Olympic gold medalists. And then you've got Shaban Hahi, who may just be there next summer as an Olympic gold medalist. And what they have been able to put together is just, this looks like definitely the relay to beat when it's all said and done. Now, ironically, they only come in with a 3rd fastest time, but this is sort of the first time that we've been able to see these 4 swimmers compete together.
No, good start for Annika Postolin out of lane number 8. Maddie Bannock as well, going up against Bloom.
Well,
and the Olympic champion right now sees herself swimming 6th. They've got some room to make up.
A lot of room. This is a little bit unusual for Pernille Bloom. She's been solid. 52.6. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, you're right. 52.6. So she's fine. Yeah, that's a great leadoff. She's been 52.2 on a flying start, Bernie, but 52.6 leadoff is exactly what you need to kind of get things going and put out a time.
Now it is Hahi's turn in lane number 4. Hansen swimming out in lane number 7. Lisa Braden just won that 200 backstroke swimming out in lane number 8.
The London Roar with that great Freya Anderson has the fastest time of the season. I think if your energy, again, you want to be strategic, obviously, but the tactic here, let's get the fastest time. Let's put a little bug in everybody's ear and say, we're here and we're going to get the fastest time, and now we're going to be the team to beat. Hahi solid 51.5. 52 flat for Duluth for Tokyo, which puts them from 5th to 2nd. Great split there for Duluth at the bottom of your screen for Tokyo.
Yeah, we've heard right now we see Toronto currently trying to swim 2nd, but we heard that they twitched at the start and are going to be disqualified just as they were starting to get momentum. And that's big because you lose points, and you don't want to ever lose any of your relay points because it's worth 2 events, essentially.
Not for silly mistakes. That's a mistake that's it's a minor mistake in the whole grand scheme of things. Here, it's not that big of a deal, but you certainly don't want to do that in any kind of format. Good job for Hemskirk, 52.3. So they're at 236.6. Again, the fastest time this year, 327.4. LA Current at 327.7. So they're really tracking that best time of the season, no doubt. Sjöström's had the fastest split of anybody this year, 50.6, one of the fastest splits in history when she anchored their medley relay.
Sato down on the left side in lane number 1, trying to get Tokyo some big points. The good news is they're going to leap right back over Toronto with this finish because Toronto's going to get disqualified as Sjöström shuts it down. 329.43, Tokyo 2nd, Toronto Titans 3rd.
Well, they didn't go by London, but they didn't have to. You know, there's no need to. Let's conserve it, especially for Sjöström because she's got the 50 in about 8 minutes. She's got the 50 freestyle, so she knows she's got to get into that warm down area, loosen up as much as she can. It's almost like a skins match where she had 3 minutes. Well, now she's got 8 minutes, a little bit longer, but no use in doing anything that's going to jeopardize your 50 freestyle when you know you have the win. Safe starts all the way around. I mean, in fact, very good starts considering how safe they were. Well, very conservative starts, actually. I'm looking at the wrong relay. 0.37, 0.27 is Sjöström, 0.38. So, you know, they'll be faster on the starts. They're going to get better. They're still the team to beat.
Another win for Energy Center, 34 points hauled in on that relay. And they're in the lead with 106.5 points. Sarah Sjöström leading the way so far in the MVP total with 18 points, getting ready to go in the 50 free. Right behind her, though, Chad Leclos, and he inserts himself into the lineup. James Gibson has called him up to swim this 50 freestyle. It's interesting because, again, with the semifinals just a couple days away, no Florin Vanadu, no Vladimir Morozov. Get the sprinters ready, and the strategy, obviously, to get them in fine form and enter Leclos to battle the Brazilian Bruno Frates.
He could probably swim butterfly and not get jackpotted here. His best fly is 21.9. So let's see if he can beat his fly time swimming free. I have a feeling he's going to be able to do that. But this event is wide open now, Bernie. No Manadu, no Morozov, no Matsui. All of them, the team's best sprinters. Matsui, Morozov, both for Tokyo. Manadu, obviously, are all taking time off, so why not look to Bruno Fratus as that possibility? World Championship silver medalist, Olympic finalist, only comes in rated 19th, but this guy could definitely get better and better as we go along.
Yeah, Fratus was silver in the 50 free at the World Championships in 2009. And oh, wow, this is tight. Lobanovsky, he is the only one in the field that has won this event. He's in lane number 5. Lobanovsky battling up, but Fratus making a late surge. And oh, Bruno Fratus, he gets the win for Tokyo.
Bruno, my friend, what a swim. Best time in history. Guy's been around for a long time. 2016, as I said, Olympic finalist. His best time was last week at 21.2. And now, you know, when you become the man, you step up and become the man. Right there, far left-hand side of your screen. Lobanovsky probably was the favorite here. Comes in at 20.92. He goes 21 flat, but how about going under 21 for the first time ever? 20.9. And now all of a sudden, well, Morozov and Matsui, I mean, who do you throw in there as your second 50 freestyler? They got a lot of choices to choose from.
All right, back down to the pool deck and Mark. What a win for Bruno Fratus.
And Chad Leclos did beat his fly time, by the way, 21.68. So he nipped his fly.
All right, Renomi, Kromoviyoyo, Sarah Sjöström battling once again. These two battled in the freestyle skins just days ago, with Sjöström taking a commanding win in all 3 of those.
Well, you would certainly think that Kromoviyoyo has the advantage here. Not so much if you think head-to-head. Sjöström got her last time. But Kromoviyoyo did not swim the relay 9 minutes ago. So how much does Sjöström have left? Now, on those skins, she proved she had plenty left. And there they go, right there in the middle of the pool. Black and red cap right next to each other. Good push off there for Kromo.
Look at Renomi coming off the wall, surging.
Here comes Sjöström.
But Sjöström is going to get the win. Oh, in jackpot form as well. Sjöström continuing to haul in the points.
This woman is amazing. I mean, she comes off, granted 52 plus on a relay, she was cruising, but still to be able to come out of that 100 freestyle, hang out for 10 minutes, and you saw her in the ready room. It's not like she had a big warm down. She had to get to the ready room, and to get up there and have a swim like that, 0.63 on the start. Quickest start of anybody in the field. Not only that, but she had a building feeling and had the confidence to do that. She didn't jump on it right away. How do you not jump on it right away with Kromoviyoyo in the race? But no, I'm going to build it, and I'm still going to beat you. What a swim, 23.4, just right on her best time of the season.
Energy Standard hauling in 21 points in the 50 freestyle. And how about Sarah Sjöström early on? Looking like an MVP. She scored 33 points for Energy Standard, racking up the wins already. Now the Iron Lady, Katinka Hosu, backstage awaiting her moment to challenge to the field of the 200 IM. Versus the men's side. Her teammate, one of the favorites, Leonardo Santos, has won this event 2 times this season, the 4th fastest time in ISL 2020. But in the field, Kosuke Hagino, he's going to be down in lane number 1. He's got 1 win, Olympic champion in the 400 IM, silver in the 200 IM, and Hagino, the 2nd fastest time in ISL 2020.
Two big boys going at it. Hagino ranked 2nd. Santos ranked 4th. Hagino just gets better and better. Kind of on a comeback trail.
Yeah, Energy Center got Max Litchfield back in.
Nice to see Max Litchfield back. Brother Joe did so well. We'll see Joe in the semifinals, but this is about Kosuke Hagino, the Olympic gold medalist. And as you said, silver medal in 200 IM behind the greatest of all time, Michael Phelps. Can he get it done now with the match being a little bit tighter here? He was upset by Vazaios in the last match from London and still went pretty fast. He went 152.6. That was his best time of the season, but Vazaios winning that had the fastest time of the season. Great backstroke for Hagino. Great freestyle as well.
Energy Center leading the match at 132.5 points. Tokyo 2nd, just in front of Toronto, and Tokyo and the Frog Kings thinking big points here on the IM. Hagino and Honda out to the early lead.
Well, these outside lanes are so critical for your best swimmers. Most likely you're going to put your best swimmer in that outline. You got some clean water to the other side of you. Hagino's so good on the backstroke. And the front half is great for Santos. And here come the weakest strokes for the two of them. They're not known as a breaststroker, so both of them will come back to the field a little bit, but Hagino has built such a huge lead. He was 27.5 on that 50 right there. That was really quick. When you think about Santos was 27.8, he was pretty good there, but Hagino has a little bit better breaststroke.
Tamarkin trying to move up. He is into 3rd for Team Iron. Honda trying to battle it out for 3rd as well, but it's going to be Hagino turning 1st with 50 meters to go, with Santos and Tamarkin eyeing 2nd and 3rd.
Best split so far for Hagino on the breaststroke, 32.7. That was a full second faster than Santos. Did he leave it on the breaststroke and let Santos come back? Nope, not going to happen.
Hagino, just the 2nd time he has won the 200 IM. He gets the win. Santos will finish 2nd, and unfortunately for him, his teammate Honda fell all the way to 8th.
So actually, Iron is going to score just about as many points as Tokyo on that. Energy Standard 5th and 6th, so they didn't place very high. Hagino just so smooth the whole way through, 24.3. Fastest split on the fly, fastest on the backstroke. He was the fastest on the breaststroke. Came back to the field at the end. Santos 27.8 on the end. So he came back a little bit on the freestyle, but 3 out of 4 50s, that's pretty tough to beat.
Big for Tokyo as they remain in 2nd. Hey, they're even ironing, cutting into Energy Standards lead. They lead it with 139 points, but Tokyo right there in range. About halfway through day 1 of match number 9, and this is another good event for them, Browdy, because, well, Katinka Hosu comes in, the number 2 rated ISL swimmer. It's hard to imagine that she's not going to be up for a challenge with Saplucha and Ohashi, the way they've swum so far in ISL 2020.
You would think, unfortunately for Katinka, she hasn't even put up a time that is ranked in the top 10 this season for the ISL. This is where she needs to kind of find her way a little bit, just to kind of build a little momentum going into those semifinals, because Yui Ohashi has been just fantastic, even better in the 400 IM, but these two will certainly battle when we get to the semis.
It does seem, though, Roddy, that Katinka Hosu has gotten better every match we've seen her compete in so far.
She has. There's no question about it. And she's just ranked outside the top 10. I mean, she's been 207.1, 207.14, and Saplucha from Toronto was 207.11. And Ohashi, I say this with some relativity, she's only 2 seconds ahead of Hosu. For Hosu, that's not a lot to make up. For any other swimmer, yes, absolutely. But Hosu, if she ends up finding her way just a little bit, she's the world record holder, by the way, 201.8. So she could really start to move up on this field in a big way.
Well, Skurdine didn't get the call in the 100 butterfly, and she jumped out to the early lead. But now look at Ohashi, just how smooth she looks. There she is, into the turn with over a half second of a lead.
Third at the 50, first at the 100. And that's all in that 31.1. Boy, that's fast, Bernie. Gosh almighty. 31.1 on the second 50 backstroke, a full second faster than anybody else in the field. And she just took charge, and her teammate Teramura is right there with her. This all has all the makings of a 1-2 finish for Tokyo, and Hosu was 6th.
And if you're thinking jackpot, the jackpot time in this event, almost 5 seconds.
Well, they're not only going to go 1-2. I don't know about jackpot. Maybe. It could jackpot 1 or 2 swimmers in here, but they're still going to score at least 16 points right there. And there's the jackpot line right there, so there's 1, 2 swimmers are kind of slightly behind him. She can pull out a little quicker. She's going to be a big jackpot.
Tokyo, though, 1-2, Frog Kings on top. Ohashi has won the 200 IM for the 3rd time. Look at how much fun they're having here at ISL 2020. So you get 12 points plus 7, so 19 points hauled in by Tokyo on that event.
And this is her weak stroke, 36.1. How about that? And the great thing about these two swimmers, Bernie, is they each have incredible strengths. Ohashi, that backstroke, 31.1. How about Teramura with a 35.6 on the breaststroke to put her out there, and they're both coming home in a solid 30.2. Teramura came back at a 31.1, but still really solid swims for these two huge Tokyo swimmers.
All right, so Tokyo now within 25 of Energy Standard. Going on a little run here in the middle of day number 1. All right, it is time, folks, for the 50 breaststroke, and we could see a world record. Emery Sachi is going to be in lane number 5. He scored 141.5 points. He's won this event 3 times. And he's going to have Shimanovic right next to him. And sometimes maybe for a guy like Sachi, probably even better to have somebody that's really great competition right next to you. There he is.
I think it definitely will help him. No question about it. You always want to have the best right next to you. And Shimanovic, 7th fastest swimmer in history. Trying to look up what he was off on the start itself. He was 0.64. Shimanovic was 0.59. So if he can get somewhere like a 0.60, 0.61, and then just find another hundredth or two, that world record's going down. Most likely, not for sure, but he's only got 2 more chances, unless there's a skins match.
There he is, 22 years of age, eyeing the world record.
Start, reaction time, 0.62. So he's 2 100ths of a second faster there. So he found 2 100ths. Can he find 2 more here? Nice turn there, a little tight on the wall, but still charged into it.
All right, 25-25. That is the time. Shimanovic, he is surging up. Look at Shimanovic coming in, and Sachi 25-43. Oh, what a jackpot, though. Hauled in, and Team Iron needed that.
Oh, they were desperately needing that to keep it close to Tokyo. Not quite there. I thought he was a little tight on the turn, just a little too close. Didn't come in with a full stroke. Better on the start, at least from a reaction time. You think, well, 2 100ths, what's the big deal? Well, when you're 4 100ths from the world record, yeah, it's a big deal. See, he's just kind of tight. He just didn't get around quite quick enough. Shimanovic, who came out of the 200 breaststroke earlier, had a great race and challenged him all the way down the line, Bernie. Coming on. 25:59 for him. That's the second fastest time of the season and his best time in history.
Yeah, that's what Team Iron needed as they try to inch closer to the Tokyo Frog Kings. 124 points to 103 and a half after Sachi gets the win in the breaststroke, and they've got a good chance of trying to take the breaststroke here, as Ida Holko is going to be in lane number 5. Shimizu back on to the pool deck here to race the 50 breaststroke. Probably a lot more known for the 100 and 200 is Shimizu. But Shimizu is going to be down in lane number 2. Pilato, Benedetta Pilato at 15 years of age. Originally wasn't scheduled to swim this event. She's going to be right next to Brie Larson, who's in 3.
I don't think it was a bad idea to keep her out. 15 years old, she doesn't need to prove anything. Was upset in match number 7. Holko beat her in match 7, so you don't want any of that confidence going away when you go into the semifinals. But it's also, if you look at the opposite side of that, saying, hey, let's step up and get the win to build momentum into the semis. So you can look at it 2 different ways. I like to look at it, hey, you know what, you got to get used to this. It's not going to get any easier, that's for sure, because Ida Holko is very, very good. 29-3 coming in on the season with that victory over Pilato in match 7.
All right, Pilato is in 4. Laukkanen next to her in 5, and Holko separated by a swimmer, and Holko and Pilato turning even at the 25.
Pilato looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, Pilato kicking it into another gear. Benedetta Pilato is back on top. She gets the win in jackpot fashion. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today, says Pilato.
So the strategy paid off. And again, you know, you flip a coin, but if she would have been beaten, boy, that's not good going in the semis. But no way, not today, not going to happen. 29-1, and really never was any doubt. She was probably even with Holko, as you said, but boy, she charged on the end. She's got a great 100 breaststroke as well. And I think at this point, what a challenge this is going to be for Lily King when we get to the semis.
Yeah, the smile of being back on top. That's where Energy Standard sits here on day 1 as well. Got a busy day for Chad Leclos. Back at it now in the 400 freestyle relay. It's like a training session, Rowdy, for Leclos. Relov, Leclos, Kolesnikov, and Shevstov. They're going to be in lane number 4. Matsumoto, Thornmeyer, Fratis, And Shirora in 1. The counter for the Tokyo Frog Kings. There they are stepping out of the pool deck.
One relay that Energy will not be favored in. Of the 4 swum today, this is the only one that they won't be pretty big favorites. And they have 3 new swimmers from the last match. From match 7 to this match, only Chad Leclos remains of that A team. And Toronto, who beat them in the last match, has all 4 returning. So this really shapes up to be a very interesting race. Although I will tell you, Energy's threw on Kalashnikov, who had the fastest split of the season on his B relay, 45.3. So they certainly found a 4th guy once they get Manadou back and others.
So who's the team to watch here, Rowdy?
I think Toronto and Energy are the 2 teams that will be battling it out. Toronto comes in with the 4th fastest time of the season. Energy only comes in with the 6th fastest time of the season. Iron and Tokyo 7th and 8th fastest. So I think it depends on Kalashnikov. If he can throw another 45.3 in there, I think Energy can beat Toronto here. But Toronto's so good top to bottom. All 4 guys broke 47. Casil, who goes first for Toronto, way up there in lane number 8. He was 46.7 leading off. Relov has not been on a free relay yet for Energy. He leads off their A. Leclos will go second.
And it looks like Clement Mignon and Iron, look at Iron, they're out first and second. Casil, though, right there in the picture.
Well, Mignon was great before, and Iron was, even though they come in with the 7th fastest time, they're only 2/10 behind Energy. So they do have a pretty good relay top to bottom, but it's really hard to match up with Casil and Toronto, and he's going to give them a pretty good start. 47 flat, great start for Energy, and Relov was 46.8. Boy, they love to see that out of the backstroker.
And now they're on to Chad Leclos swimming the 2nd leg of the relay.
He's already swum the fly, already swum the 50 freestyle. And look at Energy go. And now coming up is Kalashnikov. He's the wild card in this. He goes 45.3 again. Energy's going to win this relay because they just can't match that up. Although Blake Peroni coming up for Toronto was 45.9. But again, that's a big difference. And Leclos comes in with a great turn right there, but so did Chadwick. He's come back on Leclos.
Man, Chadwick is going to make this thing tight. Oh, only 5/100ths of a second, the difference between Energy standing in the middle in lane number 4 and Toronto out in lane number 8.
Chadwick 46.5, 46.7 for Leclos. So Chadwick did his job. He's been his best time of the season. But there goes Kalashnikov. There goes that 45.3 potential. And boy, that is so good. Kalashnikov out in 21.6. Peroni 22 flat. Remember though, Peroni comes back. He has a great second half. He was 45.9 again on that relay last week.
Yeah, but it looks like Kalashnikov has taken this relay over for Energy Standard.
Wow. 45.4. And Peroni slipped to 46.2. That's the difference. I'm telling you, it all boiled down to Kalashnikov, and all of a sudden now, Energy, how did they come in with the 6th fastest time? Remember, no Manadou. Manadou is not on this relay, and they're winning this relay. That's pretty amazing, although here comes Toronto with Brent Hayden.
Yeah, Hayden out in lane number 8. Shevstov trying to hold him off, still turning first.
Shevstov was only 47 flat last week.
Hayden comes charging home for Toronto, and he got him! Oh, what a great push. Toronto gets the win.
Oh my goodness, what a charge. I think we were both in shock, weren't we, Bernie?
Yeah, crazy, right?
I didn't think he was going to get that. I mean, all along we're kind of saying, oh, he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it, he's not going to do it. And then boom, 46-1 on the end. Chef Stuff, 47-2. So as good as Kalashnikov was on the third leg, energy was not there on the last leg. Now, if you look ahead, that's going to be Manitou anchoring that relay, and that might be a different story, but don't take anything away from Brent Hayden on the end. What a charge for the Olympian, and look at that. Look at that. Would you look at that? Right there. There's no way he's going to catch him. But watch these last few strokes. Boom, boom, boom. Didn't breathe the last 4 strokes, and then got him by 11/100ths of a second.
Hayden
yes, sir.
And Toronto teeing up the win here on day 1. But it remains Energy Standard, the first team over 200 points, now with 203.5. Well, Toronto has some work to do. Shane Ryan backstage, his team currently 4th in the standings here on day 1 of match 9. He'll be up in a moment, but first his teammate Kylie Moss will go for her 3rd win. They did get a big bonus, obviously, winning that relay a moment ago, and hopefully Toronto's looking to try to keep their momentum going. There's Georgia Davies and Mary Sophie Harvey that'll go after it for Energy Standard. We got 4 swimmers, Roddy, that are rated in the ISL top 10. But the top swimmer in the field in this event is Kylie Moss as far as wins, but Saki's actually got a little bit better time than Moss does.
Yeah, you know, this is a sleepy little field when you look at it on paper. You thought, there's nothing really outstanding, but 6 different swimmers have finished either 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in all the matches. So there is some real good depth here. Not so much at the very top. There's not a Smaliga or Toussaint, but there is Kylie Moss, who comes in with the 4th fastest time, and that's behind Sakai, who's in lane number 1 at the bottom of the screen. There she is, right there. Actually, they both come in with 26-1, but really 0.3 of a second separates those 6 swimmers that have been top 3. Could be a tight field.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Moss is going to be trailing into the turn. Sakai at the bottom, out to the lead. There she is on the left side of the screen. Sakai trying to do it for Tokyo. Hanique also in there as well. It's Sakai and Kabova. Tokyo 1-3, and Moss falls to 4th.
This is what I'm talking about, this field. You had 6 different swimmers that had a shot at this. That doesn't happen a lot when you have a Sjöström or a Smaliga or a Toussaint in the field. You think you're battling for 2nd and 3rd, but look at how close this was when you talk about Moss getting 4th. That's how tough this field was. The time wasn't that great, but look at Sakai to the left. Really take off on that, charged off the wall, and then her teammate. What a swim by Kabova to get 3rd right there. Good swim by Hanique to get 2nd, but boy, what a charge at the end by Sakai.
Tokyo is having a big first day, trying to build on their lead over the iron for 2nd place and stay within range of Energy Standard. They pick up the win. All right, it's time now for the men's 50 backstroke. They're going to have Orie and Kawamoto down in 1 and 2. Matt Grievers, Reeloff in the mix. Valinta, solid sprint backstroker who was 4th at the European Short Course Championships in this event. And then, of course, Shane Ryan, who's won this event 3 times. It's going to be all the way up in lane number 8.
This is the same sort of type of field as the women. Really, I mean, there's no Diener, no Murphy, no Guido. But you have 5 swimmers that have finished first, second, or third. Now, certainly Shane Ryan is the cream of this crop, so to speak. He's been 22.9, the only guy that has broken 23 in this field. So he certainly is the favorite. But again, one little slip. Look what happened to Kylie Moss. And somebody like a Matt Grievers, Olympic gold medalist from 2012 in the 100 bag. He could do it. So wide open field. And he's not even one of those 5 swimmers that have been first through third. I think it's important for Matt Grievers to kind of find something here. He's that great veteran that the United States has had for so many years, and he doesn't quite have the sprint speed as some of the others.
Shane Ryan, Kawamoto. Kawamoto had a really good start. Is it going to be enough to get Ryan? It is! Tokyo, they do it again!
No, they tied!
Oh, wow.
I think it's a tie. It is. It's a tie.
It is. 23-1.
Yeah, it is. It's a tie. Kawamoto and Ryan. I think they both looked up and saw the one by their name and thought, I won it. And then they had to do a little bit of a second glance and go, well, it's a tie. You both win. You both get to share that victory. And there it is. Second from the left, Kawamoto. Far right, Shane Ryan. And that's a dead even race. Dead even. And Irie gets third, and he's just behind at 23.30. He's going, like kissing your sister, I guess, or something, a tie.
It's will go down as his 4th win. By the way, he tied Ryan Murphy earlier, so it's the second time we've seen Shane Ryan with a tie for a win this season. All right, we have 2 individual events left, and then the relay to decide who picks the skins. And this one finds its way with some intrigue, right? You have Leah Smith, who's won this event 3 times. Siobhan Haughey, who's won this event 2 times, battling it out.
Very similar in the way they swim this race. Both of them like to kind of get out after it, that first 200, the first half of the race. Talking to Leah Smith earlier, and she's really excited about swimming at Shibahahi. Mark chatted with her about this, and this is a great opportunity for her. This is definitely shaping up to be Leah Smith and Siobhan Haughey. No question about it.
So Smith is going to be down in lane number 1. Haughey is going to be in lane number 4.
So this is a little short for Leah Smith. She's more of a 4 and 800 swimmer. Haughey, on the other hand, is much more of a 200, 400 swimmer. In fact, she was 4th at the World Championships in the 200 free. So they kind of meet here in the middle, and it really kind of boils down to, the strategy of who kind of strikes first and maybe jumps on it enough to put some fear into the other swimmer and not get away too much. And for that other swimmer, not to let her get away too much on the front half of the race. And that looks like what Haughey's trying to do here, going out first, right there with the red cap.
Is that going to be the key for Siobhan Haughey, is to have that lead at the 200 mark or so?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's going to have the lead. The key is she got beat by Margalis in that very first race, all the way back to the very first match, which was her fastest time. It was 3:58.5, and that's the second fastest time of the season, next to Leah Smith. But Leah Smith now will be able to breathe. You can see Haughey wear the red cap, Bernie. She's breathing right into Smith. Now on the coming home, it'll be just the opposite way. So now Smith gets a little bit clearer view of Ha-Hee and knows what she has to do, not let her get away.
Veronika Entrasenko also in the mix. Black cap, lane number 5. She is third, but it's Ha-Hee. Just 0.3 of a second, that's not much in a 400 freestyle.
If you look at Entrasenko right there with the black cap, best time of the season, it's 4:01.5. Her best time ever was last year at 3:58.2. So if you think about what she did last year, she's certainly capable of swimming with Leah Smith and swimming with Ha-Hee. And maybe this is a good thing for her, coming in at 4:01. Hey, let me swim with these big girls here for this race and see what I can do to try to get under 4 minutes. And right now, it is definitely 3 swimmers, not just 2, 3 swimmers in the mix.
Yeah, Entrasenko is firmly in the spot to try to put together a solid 400 freestyle here.
Ha-Hee was 1:58.3, Smith was 1:58.6. About what they went when they both went their best times of the season this year. Almost the epitome of what they needed to do. And Entrasenko is saying, not today. I need to feel this, and this is perfect for her. Why, if you're going to beat the best, let's swim right with her as far as I can make it. And now when you're talking about last 100, so you come up to last 100, Bernie. The best Ha-Hee's been is 59.1. The best Leah Smith has been is 006. So Ha-Hee certainly has the advantage there. Entrasenko, her best is a minute as well.
Things look tight, though, with 75 meters to go. Looks like Smith is taking the lead here.
Look at Smith go. Boy, she jumped on that 50 right there. That 50 was 30.2. Ha-Hee's 30.3, and Smith is taking the lead now. 29.8 on that split. Ha-Hee's 30.6, Entrasenko 30.7.
What a turn of events for Leah Smith.
Not even close. At least now Ha-Hee's got to realize that she's over there, and here she comes now.
Leah Smith is going to get Tokyo their 6th win here on day 1. 3:58.65.
Wow. What a performance. Again, her best time coming home 00. She just came home in 20:59.2. Wow, 1:58.6, 2 minutes on the back half for Leah Smith. That's where that 800 history really comes into play for her. And that hurt Ha-Hee. Remember, 200, 400, 400, 800. If I can keep it close at the 300, I know I'm going to be there at the end. Ha-Hee, she was solid. She's 30.6 and then 29 flat coming home, so she's 59.6 as well, but just couldn't quite get Leah Smith. What a great swim by Leah Smith, and a good swim by Entrasenko as well.
Leah Smith 4 for 4 on the 400 free, and she takes down Siobhan Ha-Hee, who, by the way, going into this match at 140.5 points, had the most points of any energy standard swimmer to date. All right, let's do it now on the men's side. There's Matsumoto. He's going to be down lane number 1. 8th rated ISL swimmer. Just like Leah Smith, Danis Rapsis unbeaten in this one. 3 for 3 this season. Think they're going to get him a lane counter for this one, Rowdy?
That's a good one, Bernie. For those of you that don't know that inside joke, Rapsis miscounted and stopped at the 350. We'll break that down a little bit later on. Still won the race, but had a little fun with that.
It's Alexander Krasik. He is the 10th rated ISL swimmer in this event. Final event before we swim the medley relay to decide the skins. Rapsis at 25 25 years of age. He's won this event 3 times. Match 1, match 6, and match 7. He's got the fastest time in ISL 2020.
Now Matsumoto, far left, lane 1, he'll be out with Rapsis the first 200. He'll be 147 plus, 148 low. But I just don't think anybody can stay with Rapsis the second 200. When he went 335, Bernie, he was out in 147.4, back in 148.9, something like that. So his back half is just tremendous. Yeah, 147.1, 148.4. That's exactly what he went coming home. Now, when he went 340, check these splits. He was 25.7, his next to last 50. So he obviously was thinking that was the end, right?
Yep.
Because you're normally the next to last 50 is 27 low,
Yep.
so he's 25.7.
He was going after it.
Yeah, he was going after it. His last 50, 32.4. But he was on the wall for like 4 seconds.
That's
literally
crazy.
4 seconds.
Well, it's interesting, Roddy, because today we have Energy Center with 6 wins, Tokyo with 6 wins, Toronto with 5 wins. Pretty tight match here. Energy Center 225 points, Tokyo 194, and Iron in third.
But this is where, even though those wins are tight, this is where the depth of energy certainly comes through, because they can get the wins when they need to, but then they get those 3rd and 4s or even 5ths up there with a victory, and no other team has that depth. Here's the 200 mark. Oh, he's much slower, 149 flat, so he's really cruising. And Matsumoto, I'm shocked by Matsumoto. When he went 339, he was 147.8. He was 150.5 there. So Matsumoto has really certainly was off the roadmap there as far as strategy goes if he was going to have any hope of beating Rapsis. So now let's see what Rapsis has on the back half. I'm guessing that these guys probably went back to work in a big way this week, so they're not going to be real sharp here from the clock standpoint.
But again, that's one of the keys for ISL 2020 is, you touch the wall first, you get 9 points.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. These guys want to still train, and they want to swim close to their best times.
But, and you're right, Bernie. That is right. And we're certainly all about points and how many points these teams score. But our sport has been built around the clock historically. So, that's sort of the thing that you look at, especially when it comes to splits. Not always best times because they don't happen very often. But when you're talking about breaking down splits, here's a guy that was 149 flat and he flips. Everybody's making sure you flip turn there.
That's a positive, right?
Yeah. Let's hope he
Rapsis
doesn't flip again here. I've seen that, by the way. I've seen a guy one year go 450 and the next year he goes 550 and would have won both and he lost both.
Wow. Well, he's kicked it into another gear.
Yeah.
To finish this one up. And Rapsis is going to get the win, 339.66. Matsumoto second, Krasnick third. Rapsis getting his 4th 400 freestyle win. Now we go on to the relays. All right, Energy Standard in the lead, eyeing the Skins pick. Time for the 400 medley relay, our next event on the pool deck. And the winning team not only given 18 points, but they get to pick the event for tomorrow's Skins battle. There is Tokyo and the Frog Kings hopping their way onto the stage.
They come in with a 6th best time of the season. Tokyo does. The Energy Standard, as you see them march out, the fastest time of the season thus far of any team, 3:46.9. They really don't have a weakness.
But they were upset, Roddy, in the last matchup with Toronto a couple matches ago. What was the key to how that one transpired the way that it did?
Well, it really was all about Moss and Hansen, and if those two can get it going here, Moss has not looked especially sharp today, but if they can get it going, they could pull an upset, and then you decide then what's the skins I'm going to choose?
Yep.
Because you know they're not going to choose. Well, they're not going to choose free. Most likely not going to choose fly, so it's got to be backstroke.
All right, Georgia Davies leads off in 3. Emily Seebohm leading off in 4. You mentioned Kylie Moss. She's all the way up at the top of the screen in lane number 8. Swimming for Toronto.
There's Seebohm, the right-handed side of the red cap, running just about 3rd right now.
Pretty good start for Kabova.
Energy's got 2 really good teams. They could definitely finish both teams in the top 3 if they're on here in the breaststroke. Energy comes with Bannock, and Hemskirk at the of their B relay. That's pretty good B relay.
Looks like Seebohm, though, is going to take over the race here. And she's going to give Energy Standard the lead after the first leg.
Yeah, if you're the other teams, that's what you don't want to have happen. 56.6 Seebohm, Moss 56.8. Neither one of them that especially fast, but then Pilato, so much better than anybody else in the field. 103.9 the last time she was a part of this relay. And boy, the spread goes bigger, right?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Now they are 2 seconds ahead of Toronto, who at the moment has fallen to 4th.
0.3 off the first 50 turned into almost a second and a half, Bernie, just on a 50 alone. So that means she was 29.3 her first 50 on that second leg here in the breaststroke. And if I'm Energy right now, safe start, safe start, safe start.
159.7 halfway. Energy 1-2, and now almost 3 seconds ahead of the Frog Kings as Skrdai dives in for Energy Standard.
103 flat for Pilato. That is the fastest split of the season. That is even faster than Lily King, who was 103.2 on her best split of the season. Uh-oh, Pilato now making a statement with that split right there.
Skrdai surging into the front. Bannock has Energy Standard second.
Yeah, I said that Energy could finish 1-2 here, at least top 3, and it sure looks like I think they're going to finish 1-2 because they've got Hemskirk, an Olympic gold medalist, going anchor. Skrdai, 56.2, and then Bannock, their B relay swimmer, 55.8.
And out in front, Sir Sjöström, who leads the picture for MVP. 33 points so far in this match.
Laukkanen might have false started on Irons Relay, and that's Irons Relay to the right with Chroma Yo-Yo, so that's still to be determined. So even if they did go by Energy, which I don't think they're going to do, not going to matter. They're going to finish 3rd no matter what.
Energy Standard picks the skins. They win the relay at 3:50.18. And it is 1-2 for Energy Standard with a big surge to end day one.
You had two B relay swimmers outsplit the two A relay swimmers. That's a pretty deep team you're looking at right now with Energy Standard. Both of those times well within the top 5 or 6 of the season. Led from start to finish, the A team did. Sjorstrom 51.9. Now she led up a little bit, but Hemskert 51.7 at the end. And boy, 1-2, 1-2. Emily Seebohm happy about that one.
All right, Energy Standard 32 points. And James Gibson's got a question on his mind. Now, Mark's going to maybe try to find out, what will they pick for the skins, Mark? James Gibson, Energy Standard has picked one skins, and on paper I think you think that they're at least the favorite to pick both.
I would love to be able to say, no, this is going to be very, very tight, but I just don't see it, Bernie. Unless for some reason somebody like Kalashnikov doesn't have the performance he did last time when he went 49.1. Now he goes from the A to the B relay doing this. But, you know, here's a time where they don't even use Relov, who is arguably their best backstroker. He's not even on the relay. Manadou, not on the relay. But I still think Energy is the team to beat. I think Tokyo could be tough, but it all depends on Thormeyer, who anchors Tokyo's relay. He has not been on a medley relay yet. He's been 46.4, a pretty good split. If they can just keep it close to Energy going into the free leg, I think Tokyo would have a chance. But right now, they're about 2 seconds down on paper based on what they've done this year so far.
All right, this will decide the skins stroke for the men. Looks like a pretty good start for Shane Ryan out in lane number 8 for Toronto.
And then what do you go with on the skins if you're Energy and you don't use Manadou tomorrow?
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's, if Manadou decides, well, he didn't swim today, I'm not going to swim tomorrow either, or do you just say, hey, buddy, all you got to do is swim the skins for us? That's a possibility too, and then you're definitely choosing the freestyle, no doubt about it, because they're not going to choose the back.
Shane Ryan is faded in a big way. Kolesnikov leading the way.
Yeah, 49.2 on Kolesnikov. Boy, he followed up that 49.1 well, didn't he? Now here comes Shimanovic, and Shimanovic has had the two best splits all season, 55.5. 55.6. So the rich will definitely get richer here in this relay.
Kosecki down on the bottom on the left side at the moment for the Frog Kings, trying to fight for second with McKee out in lane number 8 for Toronto.
You know, they could choose fly. You could go with Leclos in the 50 fly tomorrow.
Get a lot of 50s for the 40-year-old Nicolas Santos to do.
Yeah. You could go with Brest and Shimanovic matching up with Sakchi, which I don't think they'll do. You don't want to go backstroke. You've got to get old Manadou out of the woods and get him in there.
Leclos.
56 flat for Shamanovich. Kosecki was solid for Tokyo at 56.9. They're trying to keep it close, but you needed to be half body length, and they're going to be at least a body and a half down.
All right, Energy looking good to pick both of the skins. On top, 100 meters to go. Tokyo down in lane number 1, swimming second, and Toronto third.
See, Kawamoto brought him back a little bit, 49.4, and Leclos, end of a long day for him at 49.8, but it's not going to happen. All safe starts. Tokyo had great starts, 0.24, 0.22, 0.15, so they really knew how to start well, and they're going to have a great time. Give credit to Tokyo for putting in a great performance here.
Dornmeyer charging, but Energy winning. They'll pick the skins. 18 points, getting the relay win.
46-1 for Thormeyer. 47 flat for Shefstoff.
28 points in total for Energy Standard on that 400 medley relay. And for Energy Standard, pretty big that they get to pick both skins battles tomorrow.
What do you think? Breast and free, women, men?
Good choice. I think Pilato would be excited about getting another opportunity. I would think Chad Leclos would definitely think about going after the fly because he hasn't been MVP. He's going to be the MVP leader at the end of day 1. That would certainly help bode well for him to try to be the match MVP.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Let's he's been there so many times for him. Let's give him a chance. Just like Kylie did for Olivia Smoliga. You think, well, we're going to go with King, but they went with Smoliga, so why not go with Leclos?
All right, this is where we said at the end of day number 1. Wow, Energy Standard breaking over 300 points. Back tomorrow to see how match 9 concludes, and of course later today, Cali, London, LA, Aqua doing battle about 4 hours from now. For Jenny Drummond, Mark Foster, Roddy Gaines, and our entire ISL crew, I'm Bertie Guthers saying so long for now. We'll see you right back at the Duna Arena in 4 hours.